Have you ever asked for something so desperately that when it answered, you wished it hadn't? Well, they say Ouija boards are just games, that it's all in your head, that the dead don't talk back. But they are wrong. The candlelight flickered, casting jittery shadows on the walls. My sister Liz sat across from me, her eyes wide with her fingers trembling as they hovered just above the planchette. We had drawn the curtains tight, shut off every light, and the house had fallen silent, the kind of silence that hums in your ears like it's alive. We'd never used a Ouija board before, not seriously anyway, but that night it was different. It was the anniversary of his death, Tommy, our younger brother. 3 years ago he had drowned in the lake behind our house. They never found his body. All that was found was just his shoes, one sock, and a wet, half-deflated soccer ball. Liz lit the final candle, with her hand shaking. "Are you sure you want to do this?" she whispered. I nodded. "If there's even a chance." We both placed our fingers lightly on the planchette. I felt it twitch beneath us immediately, and a cold shiver ran down my spine. Liz inhaled sharply. "Hello?" she asked, voice barely above a whisper. "Is anyone there?" For a moment, nothing. Then all of a sudden, without warning, the planchette jerked to life. Yes. The room felt instantly colder, like something had opened a window we couldn't see, a door we shouldn't have knocked on. "Is this Tommy?" I asked, with my voice cracking, but the board stayed still. Then came an answer. "No." I looked at Liz, her lips were pale already. "Then who are you?" The answer came slowly. "Friend." Something about the way it spelled the word made my skin crawl. It was too deliberate, like it was lying. Are you with Tommy?" Liz asked, still with her voice shaking and her eyes filling with tears. Again, slow movement. Always. That was when the lights flickered. Just once, which was enough for us to notice and enough to make us freeze. Liz's voice was shaking. "Tommy, can we talk to you?" The planchette didn't move. Instead, the candles blew out, all of them, at once, and from the corner of the room, in the thick darkness, we heard it. A giggle, high-pitched, and it sounds familiar. Tommy, but it was wrong, too sharp, echoing where no echo should exist. Liz reached for the flashlight we'd set nearby, but when she clicked it on, the beam flickered and died, as if the darkness had swallowed the battery whole. "Something's wrong," I whispered. The Ouija board began to rattle beneath our hands. The planchette spun wildly on its own, circling the letters at an impossible speed. Then it stopped and spelled one word. Dead. Liz let go. I tried to pull my hand away too, but I couldn't. My fingers were stuck, frozen, as if something held them in place. From behind me, a cold wind swept through the room. The curtains didn't move. The doors remained shut. But I felt breath on the back of my neck. Then a low, hollow voice. "He's not here anymore." I spun around, but nothing was there. Just shadows melting into more shadows. Liz was already sobbing with her knees pulled to her chest. The Ouija board lay on the floor now upside down, as if it had been thrown. "He's not here anymore." The voice didn't come from just one place, it came from all around me. Through the walls, the floor, even inside my own head. A deep cold filled my body, like my blood had frozen and stopped flowing. Then we heard it. Footsteps from upstairs. Slow, heavy and wet. But we were the only ones in the house. We hadn't even told our parents we were doing this. We were alone. Or we should have been. "Tommy?" Liz whispered through her tears. "Is that you?" But there was no answer. All we could hear was just another step and another step. Then the loud creak of the attic door swinging open. I didn't want to move. I was too scared. But something inside me, some terrible curiosity, forced me to. You always hear about people doing stupid things in scary stories, and this felt just like that. I picked up the flashlight again. This time it turned on, but just barely. The light was dim and yellow, like it didn't really want to shine. It flickered, like even the flashlight was scared to be in that room. Together, we climbed the stairs. The air felt heavier with every step we took. It was like walking into something alive, something big and old that didn't want to be woken up. At the top of the stairs, the attic door was already open, like it was waiting for us to come in. We walked in. The attic was completely dark. The air was thick with dust, like breathing in ashes. It made my throat burn. Our flashlight was weak and shaky, and it barely lit up the room, but then, in that dim light, we saw him. He was standing in the corner, just barely visible. And it wasn't just a shadow. It was him. Tommy. My brother. But something was very wrong. He stood with his back to us. His clothes are still the ones he wore the night he died. The soccer jersey, the jeans, the one sock. "Tommy?" I called out. He didn't turn around. He just lifted one of his arms and pointed to the corner, and the flashlight followed. And there, written on the attic wall, carved deep into the rotting wood, over and over and over again, in handwriting too small for human fingers to make, was a single phrase: "Let him go, let him go, let him go." Liz screamed. Then before we knew it, the figure that looked like Tommy began to twitch. Not turn. Twitch, like a puppet with tangled strings. The flashlight died, and in the darkness we heard the voice again, clearer this time. "He's mine now." The flashlight blinked back to life, but barely. Its dim beam stuttered, showing flashes of movement. The figure that looked like Tommy was no longer facing the wall, but facing us. But it wasn't Tommy anymore. His face was too long and felt wrong. The features smeared, like his skin had been dragged sideways. His mouth hung slightly open, lips torn and trembling like someone had tried to peel them back. His eyes, oh my god, his eyes weren't even eyes anymore. It looked like deep, pulsing holes, blacker than the attic around him. Still, somehow, he smiled. Liz let out a breathless sob and backed into me. "That's not him. That's not Tommy." The figure started walking, slow but with heavy steps, like it knew we had nowhere to go. I wanted to run, as every part of me told me to turn around and get out, but I couldn't move. My legs felt frozen, like the air had turned heavy and was pushing against me. Then the smell hit me. It smelled like something burning. Melted plastic. Rotten things and something worse. Something sweet, but sickening. Like old blood mixed with melted sugar. It made me feel sick. As it moved closer, it began to twitch again. More violently this time. Its head jerked to the side with a snap like its neck had just broken. But it didn't stop. Its joints cracked and bent at strange angles, bones popping like dry twigs under weight they couldn't hold. And then it spoke, but not with Tommy's voice, with all of ours. Every word came out in layers. My voice, Liz's, Tommy's, even our mum's. All speaking at once, saying one phrase over and over. "You brought me back. You opened the door. Now it stays open." At that point, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't scream. The thing stepped closer, barely inches away now. Its mouth opened wide, wider than any normal human should, stretching down its jawline like wet paper tearing, and inside wasn't a throat. It was more mouths. Suddenly Liz grabbed my arm and pulled me out. The attic door slammed behind us on its own. We tumbled down the stairs in a blind panic. I heard the thing's hands scraping at the inside of the attic, nails raking wood, voices still speaking through all of us. We didn't look back. We ran out of the house into the freezing night, barefoot and bleeding. We didn't stop until we were far from the tree line, gasping under the stars, too afraid to speak. We never went back. We never touched the Ouija board again. And sometimes in dreams, I still hear it, saying, "Thank you." Some doors were never meant to be opened, while some souls were never meant to return. If you ever hear the urge to reach across the veil, don't. If you found this story chilling, hit like, subscribe to Insidious Inc., and let us know in the comments what you would do if something answered you back. Until next time, sleep with the lights on.